It has been called the most southern place on earth, the Mississippi Delta, land of the great river. Once covered in a dense, swampy forest, its shadows held panthers, wolves, bear, and alligator. But deeper still, a natural resource that would draw treasure seekers from around the world. Soil, the richest soil on earth. Planters would journey down the great river, staking their claims in this region. Plantations began to line the banks of the mighty Mississippi, producing a myriad of crops. And by the turn of the century, cotton was king. White gold would make the Delta region one of the wealthiest areas in the world, and its African-American workforce would create the sound that would inspire a nation. At its center, Washington County and its Queen City, Greenville, would become the heartbeat of this flourishing industry. By the turn of the 20th century, most of the great forest had been cleared. Greenville was quickly becoming a center for politics and culture for the South's social elite. It was during this period that Greenville native Holt Collier, an ex-slave turned hunting guide, would achieve national fame. In 1902, Collier was chosen by President Theodore Roosevelt to take him on a black bear hunt in the Mississippi Delta. And from this hunt came the greatest children's toy of all time, the teddy bear. Roosevelt said of Collier, he was the greatest hunter I've ever known. Today, Holt's grave can be visited at Live Oak Cemetery in the heart of Greenville. In 1927, one of the worst national disasters to date slammed the Queen City. After months of rainfall, saturated levees were strained to their breaking point. On Thursday morning, April 21st, the levee 8 miles north of Greenville broke. The Delta would remain underwater for 3 months. At the Greenville Flood Museum, visitors can view actual flood artifacts, photographs, and a short documentary chronicling the disaster. Greenville's status as the primary port city in the most fertile cotton-growing region of the country attracted growing numbers of Jewish merchants. And for much of the 20th century, Greenville touted the largest Jewish population in Mississippi. Today, the Century of History Museum at the Hebrew Union Temple details the contributions and culture of Greenville's Jewish residents. The museum includes displays about Jewish life in the Delta and houses a 400 to 500-year-old Torah saved from destruction during World War II. Greenville's extraordinary literary tradition has shaped more writers than any town of its size in the country. The writers' exhibit at the William Alexander Percy Memorial Library houses original manuscripts and documents the accomplishments of writers including William Alexander Percy, Shelby Foote, and Pulitzer Prize winner Harding Carter. It was in Greenville that famous filmmaker and puppeteer Jim Henson was born, and on the shores of Deer Creek and its sister city, Leland, that he first imagined a little green frog, which he would later name Kermit. A short stroll down historic Walnut Street will lead visitors to Greenville's Blues Walk, a Walk of Fame-style exhibit honoring blues musicians who have helped cultivate the Queen City. Stop by one of our local blues bars for a taste of Delta cuisine or a live performance. Housed in the meticulously restored Miller Building, the Greenville History Museum provides a unique glimpse into life in Greenville from the late 1800s through the 1970s. A fascinating collection of memorabilia, artifacts, photographs, and news clippings walks visitors through important events of the area's past. Throughout its life, Greenville has endured its ups and downs, its wins and losses. Through fire, flood, and economic downturn, the River City has stood its ground. It is impossible to exist so connected to Father River and not face the same life cycles that he does. And though the great river flooded, its waters always receded, and in its wake the river left a rich, dark soil, a fertile landscape for new planters and new seed. Today, Greenvillians are hard at work planning new developments like the Lofts Complex and the historic downtown. The Greater Greenville Development Foundation has hit bedrock with its Delta Hot Tamale Festival, which has received national media coverage and draws over 20,000 people to downtown Greenville each October. And each September, blues musicians and fans flock to the Queen City for the Delta Blues Festival, the longest-running blues festival in the world. Greenville is cultivating a new crop with its downtown as the center of art, music, cuisine, and culture. There's a new excitement in the air and a new future on our horizon. Welcome to the Queen City, Greenville, the heart and soul of the Delta.